You want to change?
I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell that. Everybody's like, football's a team game. Okay, it's not a team game. Okay, I did my part. All right, I put in a great game plan. I mean, these players, they're horrible. My players are no good. I mean, everybody's like, no excuses. No, you know what? I got 22 excuses. 11 on my offense and 11 on my defense. Our offensive coordinator is terrible. He gets half of his plays off of Madden rookie mode. I mean, the guy is no good. In our offensive line, it's like Obama's immigration policy. Let everybody through. Do we have a chance next week? No, we don't. We're 0-8. We're not good at football. I got 3 white receivers.
Oh. Hello. I didn't see you there. This is going to be a more somber episode of Chris's Picks. The team isn't doing well, personally. The team isn't doing well. I think a lot of ridiculousness happened last week that we'll recap in our weekly recap. But this is uncharted water for me. To be part of such an organization that isn't getting it right, something's got to change there. And I think there are many of us in this league that feel the same way. And so we're going to have to really figure out what to do about it. But this is probably going to be a little bit of an abbreviated episode of Chris's Picks. To recap, the picks went 3-3 last week and are 14-16 on the year. Basically, I zig when I should zag. I go left when I should go right. I laugh when someone tells me their catch is time. I can't get anything right. I can't do anything right. I will be calling this number on the screen momentarily. You all know how I feel about my game, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but if I don't right the ship, you're going to see the Stogies make some wholesale changes next week. So we'll see what happens. Logue's production from Tampa Tom, Derrick Henry, and Kadarius Toney, who gets ejected from the game but makes sure that before he left, he buries my rear and then gets ejected. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But at this point, it's just sour grapes to complain about it. So we're moving on. It's official. Drew is the luckiest SOB I have ever met. That's all I'm going to say about that game. One Ho ran a close race with Down and Chipmunks. He did not get the job done. Our boy Daniel did not get the job done. Instead, our boy Dan did get the job done. Daniel, that's karma for trying to trade Young Ho to Harry. We all know how the universe works. It rewards people like a Drew who are not afraid to aggressively step on throats. And you offering a olive branch, per se, to Harry in the form of Young Ho, that didn't bode well for you. I should have picked against you, but I didn't, so hopefully you'll learn. Despite one of the most impressive performances the Mohomies have done all year, they ran into the brick wall that was the Dixieland Delight, who scored the league's highest point total last week. So sorry about that, Dave. Maybe this week is going to be your week, big guy. Maybe this week. I know you have a win already, but you're in the boat with me and Peggy at this point. I mean, there are winners and there are losers, and the losers got to figure out what to do, man. We got to figure out what to do. The newly minted team Madho took care of business against Saquon D's Nuts, and at this point, you really have to wonder if anyone wants those nuts at all. Right there with you, though, Peggy. Right there with you. And Team D928 showed that his win against the Soviets wasn't just a fluke when he won our Game of the Week, sponsored by Soviet Russia. Congratulations, Dylan. You're a communist. Now for the picks. The picks. So last week we had a guest picker on the show. This week we've decided to not do that. We've decided to take a break from the guest host, not because the guest host last week did so poorly, but because it wouldn't be right for a future guest to follow that performance up. My mother was very pleased with some of the hype she received in the group message, in the GM, and she definitely wants to make a return appearance, but I'm explaining to her what the point of, having a bit and not overdoing it is at this point. So she may come back in a more abbreviated fashion in the future, or we may do a full-blown, glorious pick section weeks from now. But you won't see her for a while. Next week we will have a guest host, so the guest host will be back. Tune in next week. But for right now, it's just me and the picks. And so let's get started with that. Starting easy, like we always do. Dave, you have no shot to beat Dan. No shot, no prayer. Some people play hard to get. The Mahomies play hard to want. And that's just the facts. I've got Dalvin and the Chipmunks in a blowout. Upset alert. I've got Team D-Knight 2A beating Team Madho this week. That's right, folks. Dylan Knight is taking this league by storm, and he's going to make a miracle comeback. Blessed are we who witness it. In fact, I think Dylan's been undefeated since his marriage to Kayla. Is that a true statistic? I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. It sounds good, though, doesn't it? Gritty and the Jets. An impossible team to pick against at this point. No disrespect to you, Logan. But even if you were close to beating Drew, a meteorite would probably crash to Earth and end humanity as we know it. After looking at my bank account statements after 2 weeks of sports betting, I'm rooting for the meteorite. Scott, I don't want to pick against me, but understand that if I don't win this week, I am tanking the rest of the season. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. If I lose next week, I'm tanking for the rest of the year. The Stogies are done. There's going to be some changes to this league, and I'm riding this sinking ship to the bottom. So, I've got me over the chubby W's because I did not wake up and choose violence today. Not today, but maybe next week. Although Blake doesn't have any starters playing as of the making of this video, I'm taking him over Peggy because Saquon's nuts. I can't pick you, Peggy. I can't pick you. I can't pick David. Honestly, I can't even pick myself at this point. I'm just picking myself because I like myself. And I want to see myself succeed. So, do with that what you will. Folks, our game of the week is sponsored by every brand of craft beer ever produced. That's right, it's the Craft Beer Bowl. For those that hate actual beer and prefer room temperature liquids, craft beer. This will feature Team One Ho, One Heartbeat versus the Dixieland Delights. One of them hates beer, from what I'm told, and one of them loves room temperature craft beer. You'll decide which is which, but William is 0 in games of the week. I'm riding him in this one to break the streak. Thank you for another week of Chris's picks, folks. Didn't have the same amount of energy this week, but there was no Gloria Calarera in the seat next to me, so that could probably be the reason for the drop of energy in the room. The guest pickers will be back next week. Stay tuned for that. Have a great week.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
For this weekend video.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.